Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the European Super League. When the modern-day movers and shakers dream up their future for 21st century football, this is what they have in mind. Old Trafford, one of Europe's five-star stadia, packed to the rafters, and two of the continent's great past champions fighting for their Champions League lives and reputations, not to mention a few £100,000. Maybe like Arsenal will put this year's efforts down to experience, but Bayern Munich and Manchester United expect to be in the last eight. Both were last season, maybe both will survive tonight, but what they clearly share is an historic tradition in Europe's Premier Club competition. They both want to get their hands on the European Cup again. Bayern have been waiting for more than 20 years, United over 30 years. I suppose few of those players will remember the sight of the giant trophy being hoisted by Franz Beckenbauer or by Bobby Charlton, but they are both here this evening, senior statesmen at their famous clubs, and also constant reminders of the standards required at these famous clubs. Let's meet those players. Alex Ferguson fields his first choice Manchester United team. No disputing that. Every senior professional bar David May is available to him. An unprecedented luxury. Just one change from the lineup that thrilled 12 million of you in Barcelona a fortnight ago. Ryan Giggs is fit to resume in place of Jesper Blomqvist. Ron?
Yes, and I think Ryan Giggs and David Beckham are very much the key players. I'd like to see them play a little bit narrower than they have been playing in recent games, and try and enable Kahn and Scholes to dominate midfield in the early stages.
Bayern Munich are also close to maximum strength. Mehmet Scholl is injured. Mario Basler upset his coach with his attitude in training here last night, but all their other stars are there. 11 full internationals, 10 current internationals. Stefan Effenberg is the only exception, and only because he's refusing to play for Germany these days.
Yeah, and since these two teams last met, you know, the number 9 Alba has established himself in the Brazilian side, has scored goals in place of Ronaldo, and I think he will be an exceptional player on the break. United will have to really focus on him when they're attacking themselves.
Ryan Giggs, who didn't play in Munich, over a month out of the side with a broken bone in his left foot, has figured in the last 3 Manchester United games. Back in harness tonight. The pitch here was relayed just 12 days ago. It's played just 1 match on it so far. And is not as good as it was at the start of the season, that's for sure. Big night for Peter Schmeichel. His late error in Munich, he has been reminded of over and over again in the last few days. And a big night for everybody fortunate enough to get a ticket to be here. It's England against Germany, the Ashes series of European football. It's former champion against former champion. Two of the continent's executive clubs, both with their tradition and expectation of success. And it's man against man, a test of the players' nerve and fibre. Manchester United. Ryan Giggs, Dwight York, Roy Keane, David Beckham. Through the legs of Salihamidzic, now taking Effenberg on. He's found Keane. Beckham has gone on to his right. Keane instead looks for York, dealt with by Babel, who's had a commanding start for Bayern Munich.
Nice and slick though, that was encouraging for United. Some great first-time passing, just didn't produce a final ball.
Yeremis to Sturms. Elber has pulled out of the right-hand side. Crossed in towards the tall figure of Zickler, who was unmarked, but quite guide his header as he wanted. Lisa Razou has seized upon the ball. Now Effenberg. Salihamidzic. Taking on Brown. And the ball was knocked against the young Bosnian international for a Manchester United goal kick by Wes Brown.
he'll charge forward, particularly if Bayern are looking to catch the game up.
Down to Beckham. It's a swift ball played inside for Scholes. Now Cole on the edge of the penalty area. He's fed Dwight York here. His first touch for once let him down. Chance of a counter led by Zickler. He's very, very pacey as Yat Stam is finding out, but Stam is no slouch either. Good contest there. Well won by Yat Stam. Beckham. Giggs has broken down the centre, got inside Strunz. Chance here for Andy Cole. Great block, Dwight York! Cole had the better chance. Great defending by the two Bayern Munich defenders in front of him. York felt that he had to hit it first time.
This was a magnificent ball from Beckham. He drills that right across. Giggs gets inside the last defender. He sets it Cole up. Good blocking. Unlucky with the second shot. You have to say at this level, that's a good chance. But, as you say, full marks to the German defenders blocking. But he looked a bit tentative there, Andy Cole. As he
felt now bidding to become only the second man to coach two different clubs to European Cup success. Matthäus in towards Elber. Dealt with by Stamp. Kept in by Giggs, I should say. Held up by Strunz. When Elber saw that pass from Keane to Irwin, but the ball did go out of play.
I think Roy Keane's had a tendency to do that in recent games. When he comes out on his left-hand side to try and turn back onto his right foot, and very often he's playing square balls or playing back into his own centre. Given time and space, there won't be a better player in the world at exploiting it.
Matthäus back towards his own goal, and here's Andy Cole trying to sneak away from Kufur, who only just got there. That's a loose one from Matthäus.
That'll have raised a few alarm bells as well in the Munich defence. I mean, we know Kufur is quick, and the way Cole got past him, it'll frighten them a little bit.
Babel emerging with the ball. Yes, Salihamidzic to his left, Elmer just in front of him. Zickler is in the attack too, and Effenberg now. Salihamidzic is on the ball. Still in a yard here on Wes Brown. Corner kick.
Certainly I've seen enough to suggest that as the season's progressed, this Munich side, and that's what we're worried about when United should really have killed them off out there. This Munich side has far more purpose about it than it had in the home leg.
Kufur has come forward for the back, as indeed as Marcus Babel. Corner which Stefan Effenberg will take. Dealt with by Dwight York in front of the near post. Lizrazu. Circumnavigated Giggs. Salihamidzic is onside here. Three waiting in the centre. Dealt with by Wes Brown. Now Yeramis. This is Matthäus. And it probably went closer to the corner flag than it did to the goal. No emotion on the face of Lothar Matthäus, so always gives you the impression that he's gracing us with his presence and that everybody around him is maybe not quite fit to be sharing the same field with him.
I think the way United have played over the last few weeks, it's ever so difficult for Keane and Scholes, particularly when Scholes normally likes to run forward, and he's having to sit in. I mean, that's a lovely little ball down the side for Coles.
Coles, of course, was deflected, which made it awkward for Oliver Kahn. It came off the boot of Sami Kufur.
Almost a carbon copy of the goal against Villa, wasn't it? The ball fired across and a parry out.
Yeramis. Zickler. Yeramis this time to Marcus Babel. It's a pretty meaty strike by a man who Manchester United tried to sign 2 years ago after Euro 96, actually agreed a £5 million transfer fee, but couldn't agree Marcus Babel's wages, which I think were in the same kind of region. demands were. Cole to Irwin. Irwin has found York. Quite drift away from Effenberg. The element is cleared. Gary Neville calmly down to Roy Keane. This is Stamp. York. Now Beckham picking up the baton. David Beckham curled it. Kahn wasn't quite sure what to do with it. Almost put his hands up in front of his face for self-preservation, but just punched it away. It really could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, but that's encouraging from Beckham. Picks it up, sees the space ahead of him, and pumps one in and tests the keeper. I mean, the keeper must have wondered where that one was going to finish up. As you say, unorthodox goalkeeping, to say the least, that.
This is Zickler. Beckham managed just to toe that away from Zickler as he tried to break forward. More than a toe behind the shot, though, which troubled Kahn. Coming up to the quarter-hour mark, Andy Cole has had one clear chance for Manchester United. Stam. Up towards Cole. Too long for him. That was by Kufur. This is Giggs. He's beaten Stultz. Crossed in towards York! Well, Babel did enough in front of him to make it difficult for Dwight York to direct his header.
But that's the sort of thing we're looking from Giggs, and he picks it up, gets at the back of Struns, produces a ball. This is the shot from Beckham coming in. It'll be dipping and swerving, that's for sure. Keeper could have headed it away, really. Might have made a mess of his face, but there's the one now. Good deep cross. And York just can't get over it. I thought at one stage Bayern Munich, that's because they're very, very good at movement, very good at spreading the ball about, and look at that, that's excellent play to get this fella in.
Lizarazu. In towards Elbert! Well, he stole a march on Gary Neville, couldn't quite direct his header. Neville did recover and make it difficult for Elbert, who needed to be courageous, but who had a side of goal.
Should have scored. Great ball in there from Lizarazu. He's got across Neville, and a player, he's got a good contact on the ball. When he's headed that, he will have thought he scored. That's a ladder for United, that. That's a lovely ball play between people. Lizarazu picks his ball to the near post. Good movement. As you say, his first touch wasn't great. Just a little bit concerned. You would have expected Gary Neville, really, the second centre-back, should be hanging on to that position.
Clash of heads there between Zickler and Irwin. Referee quick to stop play. Who was the best striker you ever worked with, incidentally?
It's a lad named Tony Brown, Der Bomber.
Well, I'm a bit younger than you.
350 appearances, 350 goals or something from 7. I tell you what, that takes some doing.
That hurt.
And he was a Man U fan.
I think that hurt Dennis Irwin a bit more than it did Alexander Zickler.
I think he'd be a bit concerned, Alex. His team hasn't really been able to dominate the early proceedings, have they? They've had good moments and they've played well in possession, but they haven't had as much possession as they would have liked.
May I just take this opportunity to say how strange it is for all of us on the big match to be here at such a big match without Bob Wilson. Bob, you know that you and your family are in our thoughts at the moment, and in those of many, many viewers tonight too. Zickler has the cut on the top of the head. Dennis Irwin took the impact on the front of his head. Dennis Irwin, by way of a little statistical landmark tonight, is making his 41st European appearance for Manchester United, and now only Bobby Charlton and Billy Fowkes have played more European games for the club, which, apart from anything else, gives you some idea of how successful this current Manchester United team have been in European football. They played a lot of it in the last few years, but who knows, this may be the last we see of Dennis Irwin this evening. Alex Ferguson has 7 substitutes available to him this evening. He may use 3 of them. Philip Neville would be the most obvious replacement for Irwin if he is unable to recover. Keane knew he was there. Effenberg. Asked an awful lot of Zickler. was able to protect the ball well enough for it to roll out of play for a goal kick. He seems to have hurt himself in the process. Dennis Owen is ready to resume. Giggs just helped that into Cole. Back towards York, who forward was quickly upon him. Sally Midsic caught in possession by Brown. This is Beckham. Fouled by Lisa Azu. Now this is very much in Beckham, or maybe better, Giggs territory, because it's right of the goal as Manchester United look at it. It was Sally Midsic who put Bayern Munich in trouble. It's Lisa Azu who conceded the free kick. Stam is forward from the back.
It's also the type of area, you know, if they are going to dip it, and I think I'm pretty sure they're going to have a shot here, that the people in the box are ready for the parries. We've seen what Kahn can do when we blast the ball. He tends to parry. I think it's important to have players following in here.
David Beckham has scored free kick goals against both Barcelona and Brøndby already in the competition. Into the Bayern Munich wall that time. Cole trying to let that run for York. It's come out as far as Jeremis. Now Struns. Looking for Ziegler in behind Owen, who looks to be restored to full health. Dwight York. Now Scholes. Keane rolled into Giggs. That's a clever touch. It's Cole on the turn. Oh, it was a whisker away. That's the closest that Manchester United have come so far. Andy Cole almost providing the breakthrough.
What about that? What a touch there from Giggs. And when Cole swung that round, I thought the element of surprise might have done the keeper, because you think for all the world he's going to go and try and curl it around the keeper's left arm. Drags it across him, keeper's wrong-footed. Now.
Both Marcus Babbel and Sami Kuffour are coming forward from the back for Bayern Munich here. Effenberg takes it towards Ziegler, and it came off Roy Keane and went for a corner, and that was about as much as Keane could do, facing into a gaping goal.
I'll tell you what, Ziegler's actually headed that onto Keane, hasn't he? I'm sure Ziegler's connected with that, you know.
He looked favourite to score for a moment, didn't he?
Score. I'm trying to wonder why he didn't score, and I actually think he's headed that onto Keane.
Effenberg will now take a corner for the right-hand side. Plenty going on in there. It's pulled back towards Jeremis, but Scholes is upon him very quickly. He did well to get any kind of shot away. Manchester United have a goal kick. Jens Jeremis, who is described by Franz Beckenbauer as Germany's discovery of the last World Cup finals. There wasn't too much for the Germans to cheer for once.
They had little or no positive play going for them, but now they're all at it.
Lisa Azu finding Effenberg. Tried the shot, and Schmeichel seemed to see it a little bit late, but it was bouncing across his body, and he seemed to know where it was going. Effenberg thinks it should be a corner. It's pretty convincing.
But it's a good darting run from Lisa Azu. Plays it wide. Effenberg tries the curl.
Foul on York. Beckham takes. Keane making a late run into the penalty area. Dealt with by Struns, but only as far as Roy Keane. Struns managed to get to it. There was a half-hearted handball appeal by Roy Keane. Struns blocked it. Brown turning it back into the danger area where York is offside.
Yeah, it did look suspiciously like as if Roy Keane had sort of handled it, didn't it? I mean, he He's run forward, he realises he's not going to get the header, reads the script. Fortunately, it's
in third. Scholes. To Beckham. Into Cole. Trying to turn away from Kufor, which managed to widen the challenge at least. Hung up towards Ryan Giggs. Manchester United certainly had the better opportunities so far.
This is unlucky. Does very, very well in Andy Cole. Sees the challenge off him from nowhere, digs it up. It's a great pity, really. Giggs hadn't held his wide position and came in on a run. Can't get any pace on the header.
He's a bit of a law unto himself, but the same can be said of one or two of these Bayern players. They have some big personalities, shall we say, amongst their ranks. Beckham. In towards Giggs, dealt with by Struns. Manchester United have a corner, pumping up the volume inside Old Trafford.
That is very, very important as well. The crowd can play. We always talk about crowds playing a big part. The one thing that Bayern Munich mustn't do tonight, from United's point of view, is kill the crowd noise.
Stam is forward. Brown is forward. Beckham takes. Kahn collects. Mateus still in trouble. Serwin. Gary Neville. High in towards Wes Brown. Couldn't quite control the header for Andy Cole.
I think you saw a little bit of a tactic there, though. Try and load any high balls if you can onto the small Lizarazu.
David Beckham. Ryan Giggs. Tackled cleanly by Mateus. Incidentally, Aston Villa, the Premiership leaders, have now equalised at Stamford Bridge through Lee Hendry. Chelsea 1, Aston Villa 1. A later score in the Premiership tonight. We will start to keep you in touch with the scores from elsewhere in the Champions League during the second half of this evening's game. It is a pretty complicated equation, but of course a point may just be enough for Manchester United this evening. Zickler. Strums into the near post where Salihamidzic has found some space, trying to turn it back to Effenberg. It was Beckham who came between them. Corner kick to Bayern Munich.
That was a brilliant run there from Salihamidzic, though. Darted across the near post, ball played in early, just couldn't deal with it. And as you said, Beckham did just enough to put them off.
Manchester United's turn to worry about a corner kick. Effenberg takes. Babel is there. Under pressure, though, from Stam. Couldn't direct his header. Owen clear. Cole. Oh, that's beautiful for Scholes. York is making a break to his left. It's Dwight York on the ball. Giggs is inside of him. This is York. This is Giggs, or it would have been but for Jeremy's fantastic break by Manchester United.
Yeah, super break this. Great little layoff. Scholes plays York in. Now you're thinking then, York, go on, open your legs, get the last man, take him back into the box. He's aware of Giggs coming inside him. I'm just wondering whether he should have had a go at the last man there. The worst he's going to get is a free kick.
Beckham's corner. Kahn holds on again under pressure from Stump. The challenge is on him. Beckham towards Cole.
That's a better run, though. He's stretched the defenders, he's made them work at him, and he's taken the game back about 30 yards.
Cole away from Babel, deflected, and Kahn did really well at the near post.
That was much better from Andy Cole. Ran towards their goal, desperately looking, drove at the defender, got the deflection.
Oh, no.
It's off the pitch, isn't it?
Come back with him. Foul by Giggs. Thomas Strunz taking Ryan Giggs back almost to his own dead ball line.
Yeah, and you always say to your winger, if he's as good a player as Giggs, you say, hey, if you don't have to do that, son, you've got to make him defend. You've got to make Strunz defend a bit. But there's so many, I think there's so many fascinating sort of contests going on all over the pitch.
5 minutes of the first half remaining. Stefan Effenberg with the free kick for Bayern Munich. post. I think Schmeichel was a pace or so away from his near post, but I think it was ever heading in.
Yeah, he got plenty to do there.
Into Irwin. Cross towards York, a little long for him. Beckham will give chase. Salihamidzic is over there, and the free kick is Bayern Munich.
That's 2 or 3 crosses have gone in from either side when we've had no United players sort of making up the ground in the back areas. I think basically the wide midfield players or somebody from those positions should just hold the run a little bit more for the overhit one.
Brown's header has found Beckham. Into Giggs with some space here. Let the ball run across him, and it's forced him rather wide. Giggs taking on Struns. Turn him. Rolled back now. It's Roy Keane. It's 1-0. Invaluable strike from the Manchester United captain. They lead with 2 minutes of the first half remaining, and the quarter-finals start to move onto the horizon.
Look at the credit Giggs has got. Perhaps should have taken the Beckham's pass easier. He's got close down. He's kept his head, instead of just throwing it aimlessly. Sees Keane appearing on the edge of the box, picks him with a spotter's badge, and that is no way that's coming back. That is a great strike from the edge of the box. Keeper unsighted. Second half have been caught cold. I'll bet that dressing room is don't get caught cold. If they want nothing at half-time, make sure we don't let them back into the game straight away. That's a magic boost for United there.
Here is the goal scorer. Forward to Dwight York. Throw into Bayern Munich.
It's amazing, isn't it? If Giggs had controlled his first touch from Beckham's pass, he may well have flashed it wide.
Scholes on the ball. Owen to Neville. Now Keane. Cole under the ball, beat to it by Kufor. Salihamidzic. Did well to find Lisa Rizou. The free kick had already been given in his favour. First of 2 added minutes played at the end of this first half. You'll have noted the time, don't worry. Hitzfeld composing his thoughts. He does tend to rotate his players rather in the fashion of Chelsea the last couple of years. He has such a massive pool available to him, and he does have some options on the bench, as Ron was saying. Amongst them the huge centre-forward Carsten Janker, who's broken into the German national picture this season. Defeat for Bayern Munich would leave them sweating on other results this evening. Elber. Crossed in towards Zickler. Half-time. So far, so good for Manchester United. A goal by the beating pulse of the Manchester United team. Their skipper and leader in every sense, Roy Keane, blasting home from 25 yards to give Manchester United the advantage with just 2 minutes of the first half remaining. They are in pole position to progress to the last 8, 45 minutes away from their 3rd successive quarter-finals. Don't go away. At the heart of the Manchester United defence, Johnson made his comeback at Tottenham last week in the Worthington Cup after just 25 minutes of football in the previous 3 months through injury. He was Jaap Stam's original partner at the start of the season, and now back on the European stage as a makeshift left back for the injured Dennis Irwin.
I'm a little bit surprised at that. I thought he might have switched Gary Neville to left back, but I just wonder whether he's been given the responsibility of going out there, playing fairly narrow, and so going man for man almost against Zickler, who's coming off that side of the pitch.
Free kick to Manchester United. And if they can just pick up where they left off at the end of the first half, then got template. Beckham with the free kick. Johnson is forward, almost reached it too. It's nicked away from him by Stefan Effenberg. It will be a corner kick to Manchester United.
That was a big header from Effenberg, you know. Johnson was powering in. I thought that's going to be a golden sort of substitution. But he does give them a big advantage here again, Johnson, in set plays and that. They're a little bit short of height. All of a sudden, they're a lot bigger in there.
Bayern Munich are a very big team. Beckham's corner. Whip towards Kahn beyond the far post. Oh, what a chance for Johnson, and he couldn't take it. He got a second opportunity, but nothing like as good as the first one that came his way. Well, if only that had fallen to Kahn or York.
I tell you what, he's been on the field. That's brilliant the way. There's a suggestion of handball there actually against Ruffo, but that's brilliant the way Keane's kept that in play. And Johnson has had an absolutely. Oh, I tell you what, he could have blown that in. And even this is a good chance, you know. He's been on the field a minute and a half, might have had a hat trick.
Jeremis. A little push there by Stefan Elbert.
Yeah, that's something Jaap Stam does, you know. He sometimes gets too close to attackers and stumbles into the back of them. He's so obsessed with giving them no space, he sometimes takes too much of it. And we talk about Beckham, you know, this fella can whack him as well, Effenberg. He can hit a free kick as well.
It's very, very central. And always to the kicker's advantage. It's Effenberg. And Schmeichel had everything behind it. It bounced awkwardly in front of him. It was pretty routine for Peter Schmeichel.
Played in, keeping it out. There is again against Salihamidzic. And I tell you what, he just prevented him getting a full header on that last cross there.
Been penalised. Babel and Kufor are both forward. Effenberg inevitably will provide the delivery. And away is by Kahn, equally inevitably. And here goes Andy Cole, and he does have options right and left here. He has Jeremis all over him. Scholes out towards Giggs on the left-hand side, but instead straight to Mateos.
Yeah, they made him hurry the ball a little bit there. I thought Andy Cole should have been sharper. When he got onto the ball, I thought he should have knocked it off brighter into Yorkie, and the momentum of the move would have kept going. But that's the beauty of the game. I mean, you're seeing Munich come forward in numbers, but you know there's always that threat of Cole, of York, either the wide midfield players, and even Scholes getting up in a support position. You know, from a contest point of view, from, if you like, from the different tactics, it's a fascinating game. There's that one on top of the little left-back Lizarazu again. Won it this time.
Brown penalised again. Mateos. Strunz. Put away by Johnson. Scholes to Kahn. Beckham's forward runners created space for Brown.
That's a brilliant run from York. He pulled short, showed beautifully for
York. Now Kahn. This is Beckham. Into the near post towards Dwight York. Just a little bit too close to Oliver Kahn. Babel and Kufor are forward again. Effenberg hit the wall. Almost came for Babel. Johnson was first to it. Andy Cole trying to lead a counter-attack. Everything's to his right, really. Strums with a terrific challenge. And he's knocked it forward to Zickler. And here goes Kufor. Got his shot away, and Schmeichel made a terrific save. Big moment for Peter Schmeichel there. Kept out a very powerful drive by Sami Kufor.
Series of rebounds, a nice little lay through his run. Sami Kufor pressured by Jaap Stam. Just a nice push around the corner from Schmeichel.
Sort of save that I suppose we've come to take for granted from him during his 8 seasons with Manchester United, but it's very important at this moment for him and the club. York let it go at the near post, and Gary Neville had to clear. Not the scare. It's Thomas Strunz now. Picked off this time by Paul Scholes, and United have got men to break, but Strunz has won it back from Scholes. And Cole has won it back from Strunz, and here goes Giggs, and Beckham is forward, and Scholes is forward. plays forward. Giggs taking on Mateus. No contest. It's Ryan Giggs. Pulled back towards David Beckham. He's beaten Kahn to the ball, but he can't keep it in play. It's a goal kick.
I just wonder, I think Giggs may have overrun that, you know. But an exciting break. We've seen a load of pressure from Bayern Munich. All of a sudden we get this break. He leaves. No, he's kept it in, and David Beckham's made a great run across the near post. Just.
I'm not sure I'd want to know.
I think he has to be fair. I think he does have to. He has to, so he can monitor the game to a certain extent. When if a result goes right in Bilbao, in other words, if Galatasaray gets something out of it, he's then got to over-chase the game if necessary.
If.
Yeah.
Corner kick to Bayern Munich. Effenberg takes. All headed on by Strunz, and they smuggled it in. It's Salihamidzic. Bayern Munich are level. 11 minutes of the second half gone, and the Bosnian Hasan Salihamidzic, who scored their late winner at the Nou Camp, has scored an equaliser here at Old Trafford.
Well, I tell you what, in all fairness, I always have the feeling about United, they are vulnerable on corners. I don't worry about them. But that's just an ordinary ball in. It's kept in the box. Strunz, I think, his head's the thing in there. And there's two of them. I mean, Elbach
ahead of him. He's got Salihamidzic to his left. Elbert going alone. Now he's found Alexander Zickler. Got his shot away. Deflected off Stam, and Elbert's there. And that's not very far away either.
I'll tell you what, we're talking, the way the game has swung around. A minute ago we were talking about whether Munich would qualify. Now, that almost put United out of the tournament, hasn't it? I mean, it's got the deflection there of Stam, and I tell you, Elbar is a hair's breadth from
Cole. This is Beckham. Clip long towards Ronnie Johnson beyond the far post. Giggs is there. Kahn makes a punch. Might come here for Paul Scholes now for Manchester United. Deflected out of harm's way and for a corner kick.
I tell you, I remember us talking about first half. First time he's appeared in the box. That was a stick on goal. He's got a deflection.
Half an hour remaining.
But Ronnie Johnson's done very well there. Keeper's done exceptionally well there. Trying to just intercept that. There's Mateus now. Here's your man.
Lothar Matthäus this evening is over. His replacement is Thomas Linker, who did play against Manchester United in September and has played for the German national team this season. Corner's been taken. Giggs with the header forward. York with the hook volley, and Kahn held it. Well, it was a fascinating rather than furious first half, but this is really warming up
This
now.
might be a blower. He looks to be running a little bit hampered. He's just come over to the bench to see whether has some information to the physio.
Free kick given against Johnson. It's an ankle problem that York has. He is going to play on for now. Free kick which Effenberg will take. Tossed in towards Zickler. It's got a little bit too much on the header, which squirted over the crossbar. Schmeichel doing a little bit of encouraging work as Nicky Butt prepares himself to come on. Well, Nicky Butt is going to replace Dwight York, that's for sure.
His options are, of course, Giggs to go up there. The shape of the side would look better if Scholes played just behind the strikers.
Scholes is certainly going to play just in front of Keane and Butt, but I don't think Manchester United are going to get too adventurous in the remaining minutes. They are aware that scores elsewhere are going their way. Draw will do at the moment. Win takes away any worries from elsewhere. Cole got a flick on. Giggs trying to feed off him. Babel got it away. This is Wes Brown. David Beckham, Roy Keane. A little bit of space here for Paul Scholes now. Tried to slide the ball in, Andy Cole just offside. Well, he was maybe just beyond the last defender, but his partnership. Late poker game before the last international against Holland, who upset his club manager last night. Great run by Scholes. Could go all the way. How many has he gone past? Paul Scholes! Well, he did have kicks in space, and I think he knows that. But having slalomed his way past about 5 defenders, he just couldn't resist.
This is what I nicknamed him a street player now, and this is what it is. He beats man after man. He's the dribbler in the street, and look at him, man after man. I'm not sure he could have threaded that one into Giggs. I think the defender, Basler or Lynch, was he coming across, probably just closed his view of Giggs. But here's a little bubble once he starts going.
Here is Linker, who's now operating in Strunz's own position on the right-hand side. Zickler let it run. Salihamidzic. Albert's onside here. Stam recovered well. Throw in. It's a rather fraught situation here at Old Trafford. Lisa whose long throw set up the late equaliser in Munich. Couldn't get the length that time, although it came off Beckham, and Stam was rather distracted by Wes Brown's movement in front of him, has conceded a corner kick. Stefan Effenberg is going to swing the ball into that Manchester United penalty area again, where both Babel and Kufor have taken that position. Schmeichel's lost it and found it. He's testing. He's very annoyed that Linker wouldn't allow him to throw the ball out quickly.
I think he's done him a favour there. It looks as if he's going to throw it into a danger area. Schmeichel.
Beckham with a flick on. Good control from Andy Cole. Stepped away from Yeremis, not from Babel. It's Scholes though. Now Beckham. Possibilities here. Terrific cross. Andy Cole with a header. Oh! Well, it's going to have a paint mark on it when it comes to rest. It was so close to the far post.
People will say that's a miss, but that's a super ball in, and as soon as Beckham shapes, you know where he's going, where the ball's going. Great run across the defender, a little nick, and he's probably thought when he's nodded it
to the prime of German club football. Only 3 Bundesliga teams won European trophies during the 80s, only 4 continental successes so far in the 90s. They've got nobody left in the Cup Winners' Cup or the UEFA Cups. Even the German national team has been showing some signs of wear and tear. And as for the German finance minister,
I think the general feeling is that there isn't a great amount of good young players coming through in Germany. And that was very, very apparent, wasn't it, in the World Cup?
What a kick. I think he's had a good game tonight, Andy Cole.
And when he's on his own like he is now, he seems to have gone into that roving role a lot more. He's running the line a lot more.
Beckham short to Butt. Crossed in towards Keane. Yeremis trying to help it on its way. Keane will settle for the throw. Scholes. Stam is still forward here. In towards Jan Stam, but dealt with by Marcus Babel. Wes Brown. Throw in. But to Keane. Minutes remaining. Manchester United 1, Bayern Munich 1. It's a scoreline which, as things stand, will take Manchester United and indeed Bayern Munich into the quarter-finals. Remember, if United draw here this evening, they go through unless both Galatasaray and Rosenborg win, and both are losing at the moment. Galatasaray 1-0 in Bilbao, Rosenborg 2-0 in Turin against Juventus. Zickler in towards Elber, and Wes Brown just beat him to the punch. Not even a corner kick as it happens, it's gone for a throw.
Oh, it's a big header, that brilliant defending. I mean, that's a ball in, it's leaving them all for dead. He shapes up Elber, and Wes Brown just...
Beckham. This is Brown. Now Cole. Beckham. Good move this from Manchester United. Deep cross towards Giggs. Lincoln was there and Manchester United had to send him for the corner.
Yeah, that's good link-up play all the way through. All right, may not have been one of Beckham's best crosses, but at least it's still gone into the danger zone. It's enabled him to build up pressure.
Beckham takes. Oh, it's Keane who was in there again. And it came off Yeramis, and it isn't on the corner. Difficult to tell just who got the last touch. Referee's pretty certain.
We're not arguing.
Referee just holding up play to have a chat with Cole and Kufor, having a little bit of fun. Exchanging early Christmas presents. Beckham. There's a holding there again by Kufor. And another corner.
I tell you what, the goalkeeper took an ever such a strange position there. He stood out almost in the middle of his 6-yard box, and I think that's what Andy Cole's trying to do. He's trying to block him off there. That's what Kufor is sort of disputed. I mean, that's a strange position.
There is Kahn.
He stood in the middle of the goal, and all of a sudden he goes back onto his line.
And the West Ham away strip. Beckham takes. Stam is there. Babel timed his jump better. But though back in towards Jaap Stam.
They could cause themselves a problem.
Salimidzic should cause the problem by scoring. Effenberg with a shot, and Schmeichel did well. That might just have been sneaking in. I think it was certainly heading for his goalpost.
Yeah, it's a fine shot. Very comfortable.
Here is Keane. Beckham. Into Scholes. That's a clever turn by Paul Scholes. And he is a clever player. Finish wasn't too clever in the end, but he was just off balance. Bright mind.
Yeah, but the instinct, the turn, I mean, it's not the best ball he could have played in Beckham. He takes it off, he half rolls it, and that's what he's like, he's prepared.
Stamp. Beckham with a header on. This is Andy Cole, just run away from him. Before did just enough. Oh, Kahn has lost it. No, he's managed to recover. Cole had to try and do something with the ball as it went loose, and did catch Kahn as conceding a free kick.
A good long ball. There's that tactic again. Beckham gets up above the little fullback, gets it into his run. Yeah, it's a legitimate challenge.
Giggs takes. Away is by Babel, then by Lizarazu.
Just looking there, Fergie was passing information on where that free kick was going.
Beckham fouled by Lizarazu.
Free kick. He's passing information on Peter Schmeichel, and I'm sure he was saying we're okay if it stays like this.
That's the second yellow card in the competition for Vicente Lizarazu, who, if Bayern Munich qualify, will miss the first leg of the quarter-final. Incidentally, if both qualify, they cannot meet in the quarter-final. Manchester United have the free kick. Giggs. Deep towards Cole. Oh, poor header by Kufor, and Cole is there. Was he held back? The referee says no, goal kick. I do think that Kufor, having lost the ball, had a little grab at Andy Cole there.
Well, Kufor's certainly been a little bit anxious with a lot of his challenges in the box, and there's every reason to suggest he's had a little tug on him.
Oh, that's a foul.
Yes. The only
referee happy for play to continue. Bayern Munich in possession. Bianco used his arm and caught Gary Neville. He didn't look at Neville, he had eyes only for the ball, but he caught him rather painfully. Rather surprisingly and rather amazingly, latest from Athens is Panathinaikos 1, Arsenal 3. Luis Bourmorto. It's
good reserve team they've got at Arsenal. Highlights of that match later tonight on ITV. Alex Ferguson will be hoping to have his feet up in front of the telly with his place in the quarterfinals booked. It's looking good. Salimidzic. Schmeichel a little straighter than he would have liked. Strunz. Effenberg. Free kick has gone Manchester United's way. Effenberg just caught Scholes. Last minute. Gary Neville. Beckham. Things stay the same, you know. The moments after the final whistle are going to be tenser than the rest of the game put together.
If the stairs there, they're going to see both teams do a lap of honour, aren't we, together?
Manchester United will need to know for sure that there have been no late goals where they don't want them. What they'd like here is a late goal for them. But trying to provide it. He was fouled by Strunz.
I think you can understand. I think you can sympathise with United now. There's a lot of free kicks. The game is everybody else's mind is focused elsewhere, and I think it's just important now United don't do anything daft.
3 minutes of added time will be played, just to keep you on your toes there. You've got any fingernails left. David Beckham. Away is by Yeramis for a corner. Babel rather got in his way. Nod of appreciating that.
I tell you what, we wouldn't have thought before a match that if this was all square with 3 minutes left, they'd be dawdling over to take a corner, the home side.
A bit of Anglo-German détente, I think, here. Beckham. Key. Brown. All the way back. I think we've got a feel for the pro-Europeans at the moment.
I think you must also, I think the crowd must also sense from that the players know what's what.
Headed by Babel. On by Strunz. This is Butt. Effenberg. It is an extraordinary situation, this. We've still got 2 minutes of added time to play.
In all fairness, you can't blame United for this, can you? I mean, they've been swashbuckling to this point of the tournament. They've been cavalier, and to be fair, the opposition have as well tonight. Munich until the last stage is when they've got the information that they're safe.
20 goals they've scored in the competition, Manchester United. And it's that fantastic tally of goals that they've scored which could ultimately guide them through. One or two are not quite sure what's happening here in front of their eyes, but the men in control seem to know. Gary Neville will take the free kick. And this rather eerie conclusion at Old Trafford. Giggs into Cole. Away by Lizarazu. Schmeichel is under pressure, happy to get the ball out of play. We've now played 2.5 minutes of added time. Referee takes a long look at his watch. No doubt really what the outcome's going to be here. It's the outcome elsewhere that's going to decide Manchester United's fate. The fates seem to be working for them in Spain and in Italy in the matches which will affect them. The referee running towards the ball. Final whistle goes at Old Trafford. A huge roar goes up from the Bayern Munich supporters. Their players celebrate, and we hear Manchester United have taken their seat at Europe's top table too. They have qualified with a draw. The giant trophy is still within reach for Roy Keane and the team. The news will take some time to filter through. But both of these teams have survived the so-called group of death. And our Champions League quarter-finalists again, Manchester United for the third season running. It has been a thrill ride until tonight, a variety season of gala performances, more scores than a basketball match. Tonight it was more of a chess match in the end, but they've kept their nerve and they've kept their European Cup hopes alive with a draw here this evening. Final score at Old Trafford is Manchester United 1, Bayern Munich 1. It's a result which sends both teams into the quarter-finals.